All right, everybody, welcome to the Eight Figure Product CEO podcast. And today we've got a treat because we're going to talk about bootstrapping a bicycle battery business. Okay, we're going to Adam Black has got an amazing story. He's right in the middle of bootstrapping the business, and it's a technology deal. So he's not just importing from China. He's making this here in the States, high technology. We'll get into it. Before we do that, though, head over to apexceo.co and check out the exit readiness test that I put. If you're thinking of selling your business and you're not sure where you stand, you're actually going to get a numerical output. Okay. It's going to give you a number, 25, 35, wherever your business is in that range. If you're really ready to exit, or if you have some things to work on, it's going to tell you what you need to work on. Okay. apexceo.co. Head over there. And all right, so let's hear from Adam Black. He bootstrapped, founder of Cycling Batteries Corp. And this thing charges in 15 minutes. It's smart, it's theft proof, and it's safer than any other bicycle battery on the market. So, but we're going to focus on here with Adam is this is a technology product, a physical product, and you're making it here. That's right. There's the product. You're making it here, Adam, and you're doing this on a shoestring budget. So let's start with how you came up with this idea, Adam, and
Okay.
how you're able to do it so inexpensively. And maybe you can share your funding.
Oh, sure. Okay. So let's take more questions one at a time. How did we come up with the idea? Well, anybody who invents anything or creates any service has to address a problem and solve a problem. Before COVID, I had a scuba diving hotel in Cozumel, and I was sort of semi-retired. Unfortunately, COVID kind of killed that, just like it killed every other tourist industry in the world. So that wasn't so good. But along that journey, I came across e-bikes in the very, very early stages of their development in 21, 22, and realized that there was a whole bunch of problems with e-bikes. I was working with Tesla in 2007, and they kind of had the same issue. They had a rich man's toy that had to be plugged in every night in order to drive 150 miles. That was in 2007 with the Tesla Roadster. So if you're interested in that, I can send you the very first video ever made of a Tesla, just FYI. We realized that the problem with Tesla and all EVs was the fact that it's a toy until you get ubiquitous fast charging everywhere really quickly in the same way that you put petrol in your car. That's what people are used to. That's what people like. And we looked at e-bikes and we went, e-bikes have got these huge batteries because they charge so slow. And that's crazy because everybody has to go home to charge their batteries. It's a big problem. And there's a lot of delivery riders. In fact, I just saw a quote today that there's 145 million delivery riders on the planet, each of them on an e-bike. Each of them has to go home and charge their battery in 6 hours. So we investigated with technologists, we've got science degrees, and we've got a lot of friends all over the world, and we investigated how cars are becoming faster at charging. CATL is doing a lot of stuff. Tesla's doing a lot of stuff. All sorts of people are doing really interesting development with technology to make the batteries charge faster. The cells that are in normal e-bike batteries take 4 to 6 hours to charge at 4 amps. We use satellite cells that charge at what's called 4.5 C, which is 4.5 times faster. In real terms, it means that this battery can charge in about 12 minutes in any cafe, just the way you charge your cell phone. In actual fact, it's not that much bigger than the original cell phones. The problem, or rather the solution to e-bike transport, is the same solution as for cell phones. You charge your cell phone regularly and you've always got range. Nobody even knows. I challenge anybody listening to this podcast to tell me right now how much charge time they've got on their cell phone.
Got it. Got it. Okay, so that's the problem. So you're looking around. So that's a good insight. So you got your idea. You looked at the industry, and the industry, was making strides elsewhere, but they weren't doing that for bikes. So you're bringing that over to bikes. So talk about how you got it off the ground, because you still then had to have technologists on your team, chemists, or who and work with other shops to put this battery together. You didn't just go to China and get something off the shelf. So talk about, you did a friends and family round, and through that, you're able to build
Well,
a team somehow.
just before I talk about that, Luke, let me tell you
Yeah.
about pivoting. We first started the company because we realized that e-bike batteries, which are big and heavy and run out after 700 cycles. Here's one. Look at the size of this thing. Really heavy, right?
Yep.
This thing takes 6 hours to charge. Our original business was to take these batteries, open them up, take out the dead cells, and put in really high quality cells to refurbish them. Many people may know about refurbished cell phones. We thought we'd do the same thing for e-bike batteries. And along that journey, we pivoted because we suddenly realized, why go through all the process of refurbishing batteries, collecting them, changing them, taking them apart, when we can make the best battery in the world? So we did some research, wasn't difficult to do. And we found all sorts of battery experts. And we said, why isn't anybody making fast charging batteries? And they went, oh, you know what? That's a good idea. The more research we did, the more we found out in the industry is blinkered because everybody who's making batteries makes them for a client. The client wants X. They want a big, heavy battery full of cells. They don't care how fast they charge as long as it powers their bike and it's cheap. And
now those go for longer though, right? Is that why they want that type of battery? Because it's got a longer ride time?
No, it's because it's cheap.
Yeah, okay.
All the bike manufacturers don't know batteries, and all the battery people don't know the bike market.
Yeah, okay.
And because of this, and also no disrespect to Asian people, but their creative process is more about increases in efficiency, increases in production per cost. They're not really good, like a Western creative mind, in seeing alternative business models that can create similar or better value. And that's where it's really interesting to talk about the balance between Western mindsets and Asian mindsets. The future of the world depends on a combination of talents and a combination of resources from all over, not just Asia, not just Europe, not just America, the southern part of the planet as well. Huge market. And all these markets can be dealt with and have their needs met by a combination approach.
Got it. And can you share then how you got this thing off the ground? So right now you have your prototype. How did you do it? Bootstrapping that funding and with limited funding. How did you know where to go? How did you put the scientists together? Those types of things.
Well, LinkedIn is most probably the single word answer to that. Just about everything can be found on LinkedIn. If you're a professional with some experience and you have a certain sense of charm in your conversation, you can usually attract a lot of people. One way or another, Luke Peters and ApexCEO.co have been attracted to talking to us. So, I must be doing something right.
That's right.
What we do is we basically talk about what we want to do, and we find people who are interested. If you look online, you can find so many groups with so many different things. If I wanted to make a new laundromat, I'd most probably find a group of laundromat makers, right? And one by one, you start posting and you start listening and you start making friends. When I started, I had about 4 or 5 friends in the battery industry. Now I've got 1,000 and I haven't paid for any of them.
Yeah. Now, but did you have to?
One thing I do want to stress is something called enthusiasm economics, which is something we deeply believe in our company. I was in the film industry for many, many years, and it's similar with sports. You find anybody who wants to make a career in something they love, it's driven by their enthusiasm. Young talented
that's so true.
Play in the fields for no money to train themselves to become a football star. Young actors trawl the streets of LA looking for anybody in any cafe they're working with who's in the film business to make a contact. This is all driven by enthusiasm. There are millions of people, scientists and technologists, who also want to do great things, driven by their enthusiasm. All you have to do is connect with them and say, look, we want to do this, we want to do that. Can we do it together? And half the time people say, actually, that's a really good idea. Can we get involved? And you say, yes. In no time at all, we've got a team of 8 people, some of the best technologists, prototype makers, battery box makers, all sorts of different people in our team all over the world who are
and how are you
sympathetic to our
incentivizing them?
needs and our journey.
Right. How are you incentivizing that team?
Well, ultimately, the senior players, get equity in the company. Yep. Other people just get contracts. We have a number of people who want to sell us products, and they're bending over backwards to create relationships to do that. Because we've got a great product that will change the whole industry. Imagine, for instance, you came across Tesla in 2007 and you realize what potential that had. Chances are most people, once they realize that, would do anything they could to get involved with that company. We've managed to do that as well.
Yeah, it helps to be in an exciting category. That's what you're in. I remember we were selling. I love photography, and if I was making a new digital camera or something, that would be really exciting because people love their photography. But when we were selling air conditioners, they really didn't care. They just want something to cool their room. They don't care about the tech, right? But for batteries and environmental reasons and other reasons, people love this category that you're in. So I just want to sum it up what I heard. Okay, I'm just going to kind of put it together here. So you got that, you have a great personality, and so you were able to put the team together on LinkedIn, and you couple that with an exciting product category, and then you raised money
with a huge market.
With a huge market with potential, right? So you raised money, but you're able to incentivize the team, with equity shares of future promise, because it is such a huge market, and that's gotten you where you guys are right now, which is, so you guys are at the prototype stage. So next we talked about is you have to now get through some certifications, UL and otherwise, and then after that. So you're raising for that round. Now, after you get through this round, are you then ready to go to market? And how will you go to market? Who are you going to be selling to? Are you selling to the bike makers? You're going to be selling to the actual riders? Does that battery fit into all of the bikes? So
well, one question at a time, please, Luke. What's the first? There's 3 questions there. Which one do you want me to answer?
What's after when you raise your next round? So where does the company go from there?
Let me tell you what's happening. Two strands are happening simultaneously, okay? The strand to get the finance to continue is happening with the deck, with traction, with demonstrations. The demonstrations are happening all over. We have partners who are demonstrating. We're demonstrating to industry elites to get testimonials. We want to get a lot of people who are respected, from fire chiefs to municipal authorities to e-bike makers to riders to people selling e-bikes. The whole environment. We want to demonstrate this product and show it to people and show how it's used, because it's a whole brand new thing. Everybody is used to taking their batteries, their big, heavy batteries. Look at the comparison.
Yep.
Everybody's used to taking these big, heavy batteries that I can barely lift with one hand. This one, I can hold with 2 fingers, right? Everybody has to take the big batteries home to charge. So it's a whole new world that people don't even know existed yet. The irony is that, back 100 years ago, a car was treated like a faster horse. But we obviously realized it was much more than a faster horse. This is a faster battery, and it's going to be much more than just a fast battery. It changes everything.
Okay.
Next question.
So right now you're in the pitch for the next round. How do you see that?
I'm doing demonstrations.
You're doing demonstrations.
At the same time. Demonstrations to e-bike people, demonstrations to cafe owners, demonstrations to anybody and everywhere, municipal authorities, e-bike companies, everybody. To answer your question as to who are we demonstrating to, and who is our audience, and who do we want to create a relationship with, I suppose there's 3 categories. The first category is individual riders. At the moment, most individual delivery riders, of which there are millions, have 2 batteries on their bike already that charge slowly. What we're suggesting is this becomes the second battery. These guys are already used to riding with 2 batteries, and this fits on just about 98% of all 48-volt e-bikes, right? Which is several hundred million, right? And this just clips in. It fastens with an XTC connection, and that's it. It's very simple. Then you can detach it and you can charge it in a cafe, and we'll demonstrate that. The individual e-bike riders are the first and obvious market. Once we have that, we also have interest from smaller e-bike manufacturers, and we speak to them and we say, look, your bike has the same problem everybody else's bike has. Namely, it takes 6 hours to charge the battery. If you used our battery instead, you'd be able to charge and have infinite range almost anywhere. So a number of smaller e-bike manufacturers get a unique selling proposition to battle against the big boys. And that is how we get involved with e-bike manufacturers. In the same
So
way that computers used to have Intel inside, we have fast bats inside. So you may have a
right.
Intel bike with fast bat inside.
And will they? So who will be the final customer? Will it be will it be battery makers? Will it be bike makers? Who would be a target customer? And then how will you get the working capital and set up the manufacturing for that?
Okay, two questions there. Working capital manufacturing, I'll answer secondly. Who is the main customer? The short answer is everyone. Why limit yourself? So there's e-bike riders, there's cafe owners, there's takeaway shop owners who are going to have the charging systems. There's also things like schools, hospitals, libraries. Anywhere where you find an ATM, you'll find a fast battery charger. All these people, just like cafes, make money because people come into their shops or cafes to use the ATM to charge up their mobile phone or something like that. So this is just an extension that gives them more clients. Sure, 1 in 10 people that come in to charge a fast battery in your Starbucks cafe may not actually buy a coffee. Naughty boy. That's disrespectful. But 9 out of 10 will, because it's appropriate, just like they buy a coffee when they charge their cell phone or their computer. Because of that business, all the cafe owners will say, yeah, we'll have one of those chargers, because they cost virtually nothing and they sit on a shelf and they go in a box like that. So it's very
Right.
safe. It's very low cost. We're going to demonstrate this product to all these people, as we are doing already, and get a huge list of people who want to sign up. And once we get the certification, then we'll start selling.
Got it. Okay, so consumer, now that means you want to focus on a geography, right? You'll do like New York, San Francisco, because you got to get the sort of the effect of getting the cafes and the charging stations inside the cafes. Is that the idea on the sales
Yeah,
side?
once we do exactly right. Once we do a small demonstration, obviously we film the demonstration, we put that out. We will find other communities that say, "Wow, that sounds great. We want it in our community." And we allow for this because we want to develop this community by community. If one guy in New York is a delivery rider and he wants a fast battery, that's not much use to him unless there's a charging network. But if he's got 10 friends that are also in the same area that want a fast battery, suddenly it incentivizes us to put 2 or 3 charging stations within 500 meters of wherever they're riding. And they get everything that they want. A low-cost battery that charges really fast exactly where they live. Next thing, they tell their friends. There's more batteries, there's more chargers, the system expands, and then we get little offshoots, just like microbial infection. It's going to grow everywhere, we hope.
Hopefully not like a microbial infection, but
Well,
okay.
yeah, I studied microbiology. I'd love it to grow like a microbial infection. It's an exponential curve. It's exactly what all our investors want, right?
That is true. Okay, so listen, that gives us now let's finish up here with the working cap, and then after that we'll get your final bootstrap playbook. But talk about now as a bootstrap, you've gotten to this stage now, and then you've got to get this thing tested and you all certified, et cetera. And then after that, once you sort of build this network and create the demand, you're going to have to be manufacturer. Will you have to raise again, or do you think, Adam, that you can just sort of cash flow it off the sales?
Well, we can do everything, but the real secret to our business is to accelerate really, really fast once we've proven the model.
Yeah.
The reason for that is, whilst we have all sorts of IP to protect us, when I look at IP, I always ask the question: if IP protects you, how come Google made an iPhone? Because more or less they did, right? So IP only protects you in as much as nobody can copy your IP but make it look slightly different. And that happens every day of the week. So the real protection is what I call the Facebook model. Facebook created a product with no IP. Donald Trump created a social media platform as well, right? So IP doesn't protect. What protects Facebook is network effect.
Yep.
What protects us, fast batteries, is network effect. So it's important to think about alternative ways to protect your invention rather than just conventional IP protection, which is expensive and doesn't always work perfectly. So
Mm,
our protection is network effect. If we're established as the first and the biggest, anybody else who comes up afterwards is going to have to steal all our customers and get them to start on a new network. They haven't done that with Facebook, right?
hmm.
And they won't do
Yep.
that with fast batteries either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's actually a great answer. And it's a lot of hard work to create that network effect, but then, the benefit is it creates a huge moat. So I like that. So why don't we wrap it up here with your bootstrap
Well, I
playbook?
just want to mention something. Can I just mention something that you just said? You said
Sure.
it's a lot of hard work to create that network effect. I totally
Yep.
disagree.
Okay, great.
Work is
Tell me
something
more.
you do to get paid. Work is what you do to get paid.
Hmm.
Your mission is what you would do if you weren't getting paid. Our mission is to cool Earth fast. It's the most important thing to do on the planet, regardless of your political view. Gravity is science. Even if I don't believe in gravity, that happens. It's exactly the same with climate science. And what I do stress to everybody is these batteries, because they charge fast, can be charged with solar, which is our second invention. It's a solar parasol. It goes in a flat pack box. It can travel anywhere on the planet and it can charge 20 of these with the sun. No
Mm,
external power required. So, what we're doing is a mission driven business. The mission is to cool Earth fast by transporting billions of people with sunshine. And that's what we're doing with fastbats. So it's a mission driven business. It's not just about making money. All our team has made money and lost money and will make money again. The money follows the power of the idea and the effectiveness of the implementation of the technology. If you focus on the money, you'll miss the mission. The mission is to cool Earth fast because nothing else is more important. And by the way, it's kind of an insurance policy for every business on the planet. You cannot conduct business if you have 200 million climate refugees. And there is a 5% chance, a 1 in 20 chance, that that will happen in the next 10 years. It's a very, very unpalatable fact, but it is a fact.
mm. Well, having a mission driven, I mean, that seems to be part of the secret to your success here. So, how about you put together your bootstrapping playbook? Okay. So, we have the founders that are listening. Some of them are already in their business, some of them are thinking of new businesses. Maybe their business got hit with tariffs or something. What did you learn? What are your maybe three big takeaways from bootstrapping your business, or what wisdom can you share on that side?
You don't know what you don't know, is the first thing. So if you don't know what you don't know, be loud and proud and talk about what you do know. If you've been focusing on a product or a business, chances are you most probably know more about it than anybody else on the planet. So be proud and be strong. Don't be a wallflower. Chances are, if you're CEOs, you're not wallflowers anyway. Few of us
Yeah.
are, right? But the point is, one often thinks that other people may be doing what you're doing. In my experience, having created about 4 or 5 startups in my life, I've always found that even though I've got a bright idea and I go, oh, surely everybody else has thought of this. Quite often, they haven't. Quite often, you're the only person in the world that's thought of your idea.
That's a great
And
point.
remember that. The other thing to think about is enthusiasm economics, which doesn't work with everybody, If you're drilling holes in the ground to pump out sewage, chances are you won't find many enthusiastic people who want to work with you because that's literally a shitty job. However, if you are creating something with huge social, environmental, and financial value for your customers and for the world, not just your customers, but secondary people who appreciate your product, such as all the kids that aren't going to get asthma as a result of clean power, right? These people
Hmm.
benefit from my technology. All these kids
Yeah.
who aren't going to get asthma. If you've got a product or a service that really delivers value for people, you'll find you get a lot of fans. And a lot of fans have friends. And this is how you grow your network. And this is how you get out there. And it's important, even if all you've got is an idea, to get out there and find friends. Because an idea with 2 people is a company. And that's
It's
the
all,
start of a great
yeah.
corporation, maybe.
It's also a great way to build a brand when you have a lot of people talking about your product. So I
Yeah.
like how you think.
Well, your brand, let me mention brand, right?
Uh,
I'm a marketing guy, right? I'm a technologist. I did a degree in biochemistry and biotechnology. I've been in science and media for my whole life, right? But most of my experience has been in media production and distribution and films and advertising, marketing, and all that kind of thing. A lot of technologists don't know how to communicate.
yeah, that's yes, for sure. For
Find
sure.
somebody who loves what you do if you're not a great communicator to communicate. If you do that right, you will create a brand. Non-sweat socks or whatever. Infinite freezing air conditioning. Whatever the thing is that you're building, you give it a name. You give it an identity. You create an identity around it from the great and the good value that it creates for other human beings. Don't get caught up in all this AI bullshit. AI is another word for A, standing for artificial, is another word for fake. Find me anybody on the planet who prefers something fake to something authentic. This is a very important message. Everybody is getting conditioned to use AI for marketing, for celebration, for promotion, and they're going to fail because people respond to emotion, and AI has no emotion. People have emotion. Talk to people face to face. Find their email, speak to them face to face if you can. It's the only way to create really good communication. And most people
Mhm.
don't even remember your name 3 days after they've seen your email, but they will remember your face if you talk to them.
I think that's a great message to end on. And for better or for worse, marketing and branding is oftentimes more powerful than the actual product idea, right? So you have to communicate, you have to get to the emotion, just like you said there, Adam. Why don't we wrap this up? Tell us where people can find you, a little bit
We
about
are
your product.
interested in meeting anybody and everybody who thinks fast charging, net zero power transport for the world is a really good idea. My name's Adam Black. You can find me on LinkedIn. Our company is Cycling Batteries. I'm not sure if this is upside down or inside out, but that's my
Yeah, that
card.
works. Yep.
This is a QR code. My telephone number is here, 646-508-2975. My email is adam@cyclingbatteries.com. If you contact me, also put in your LinkedIn profile so that I can check out who you are, and we'll do it that way. I hope that works. Nice to meet you
Perfect.
all. Good luck.
Pleasure, Adam. A wonderful conversation. And thanks for sharing all this with our audience today.